Hi, it's Troy Griggs of the Obsidian Wisdom. On this Wisdom Wednesday, we're going to be sharing the proverb, one cannot both feast and become rich. When it comes to feasting and becoming rich, you would think of books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the habits that we each have. We're going to talk about two different lifestyles, two different situations, and then you decide which one will give you the ultimate result that you want, which is freedom. Most entrepreneurs and families, they worry about money, so we created the Wisdomites framework to help you eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. So if you had two lifestyles to choose from, one is where you're living pretty lavishly. And before I even go down this road, of course, I'm going to give a caveat that the lifestyle that you're living doesn't inherently mean that you're rich or poor. But when you talk about feasting in this situation, we're going to be talking about someone that has not achieved financial independence yet. And they are on the path where they have the ability to achieve it, or they have the ability to dig themselves into a deeper hole in further enslavement and imprisonment, where they have additional years that they have to keep working. So if you are someone, let's say you just graduated from college, so a brilliant person, graduated top of the class, they get their first job as like a data scientist at a Fortune 50 company. They make about $150,000 per year and they live in New York. So they decided that they had basically two choices. They could live on their own and they could live kind of outside of the city, but like in Staten Island where they have to take like a ferry and then they have to get on the bus and then they take the bus to the train station and they sort of make it work and they get to work, but it would take like an additional 2 hours every morning for them to be able to get to work. But their living expenses would be significantly lower. And they decided that they would rather live in the city. Now, they did make the decision of living with a roommate. So they split the expense, and they feel like they're also saving the money because they're not having to pay for the ferry and all this additional transportation. They just simply take like a bike to work. And they are living their life. So they spend money each week, and they spend money on trips and parties and fancy jewelry. They love life. They are enjoying every day of their life, and it feels really good. The other person decided, I'm going to live outside of the city. I'm not going to be trying to be that close where everything's really expensive. I'm going to live, let's say, in like Staten Island, where it is 60% lower cost, and I'm okay taking the ferry to the train, to the bus, to get to work. Like, that's okay for me because I'm going to have this additional money. Now, even though they could have a much larger house because they live outside of the city, they still live in a pretty modest 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and they are putting away maybe like 30% of their income each month because they don't have the expense of living in the city. Now, they don't get to take as many trips, but they do try to save some money where they take maybe one trip every year or every other year where they put maybe $100 or $200 aside, maybe every month or every quarter, and then they take whatever trip they're able to take. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then they just save for an additional year so that they could take the trip. They don't have any problem waiting for things to come to them. They know that it's a long-term game. It's a marathon that they're playing, and they are enjoying life too. They don't have any regrets. They understand that they have a vision and they're trying to achieve it. So in one of them, we are feasting, and as a result, we don't have as much money to allocate towards our freedom. And our freedom is our ability to escape the system that's designed, right? Like the Matrix, where we are told a lie that as long as you work hard in school, get good grades, get a good job, then you'll be okay as long as you work for like 50 years. And then we'll allow you to retire. And then as long as you, fingers crossed, stays healthy, then you'll be okay. But the truth is, if you start off by having your money work for you, where you're putting away a percentage of your income, I would say even if you could start with 5%, 1%, it doesn't matter. Just get in the habit of saving money and paying yourself first. As a result, you will soon be able to use money that generates money to live the exact same lifestyle. The only difference is it takes a little bit longer, where the other person is living the dream life right now. But in the end, they have to maintain that lifestyle by continuing to work and trade their time for that money. They don't have the ability to have their money buy back their time. And as long as you understand that your time is your most valuable asset, then it should always give you the comfort of knowing that I'm just buying my time back. That sure, I'm not buying a yacht or I'm not buying a condo inside of Manhattan. I'm not buying all of these things. I'm just buying my freedom. And that is what wealth ultimately is. Wealth is your freedom to choose how you want to live, where you want to live, where you want to work, when you want to work, and who you want to be with. Right? That's what freedom is. And that's what we're all striving for. And if you are feasting, that means you are not buying your freedom, but you're buying symbols of freedom to help you feel better while you're imprisoned. And none of us want to be imprisoned very long, which is why if you look at like the Times Happiness Survey, it says always somewhere in like the 30% of people are just happy with their job. And that the other 70% of people probably don't know, or they know that they're unhappy. And if you've ever looked on social media and you've seen the posts that people share, people are very excited about Friday. And they're pretty not excited about Monday. Well, we'll be nice. We'll say they're not excited about Monday. And why is that? It's because they don't have their freedom. They spend their money buying symbols of freedom, but they continue to be enslaved by the system. So you have two choices. And the choice is you can either feast and feel symbols of freedom while you continue to be enslaved, or you can save and pay yourself where you may not be feasting now, but you are 100% going to achieve your freedom. And once you're free, everything tastes better, right? Like everything tastes a little bit better. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments on what this proverb means to you when we say one cannot both feast and become rich. But if you disagree or agree, I'd just love to hear your thoughts, because ultimately we're having a discussion on this Wisdom Wednesday. If you have any additional questions about retirement planning, I invite you to check out my free retirement planning video training at obsidianwisdom.com/training. In it, I give you the entire Wisdometric framework that I use with my clients to help them eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. Hey, until next time, Wisdomites, remember wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions and you will keep getting those answers. Continue blessings.